Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to All Souls. I'm Martin Lavenhar.
And I'm Nicole Kirk, and welcome on this rainy day. We are so glad that you are with us.
I want to welcome everyone who's online too, from all across the country and around the world. Welcome to you. If you're on Zoom or Facebook, put your joys and concerns in the chat, and we will light a candle for you later in the service.
Are you a first-time visitor? If so, we have a gift for you. If you'd raise your hand and keep your hand up, our ushers are coming up the aisles to share that gift with you. And after the service, we invite you to go to Sonnen Library. It's out the back doors across the foyer, and there'll be a greeter there to answer any of your questions. Keep those hands up, and they'll bring that gift to you.
Well, on this sort of gray morning, I feel the sunshine of your presence with us. So there's like a shining light that's coming from you that I can feel here. And if you are able, I invite you to stand as we begin our invocation and start our service together.
Yes.
This is indeed a day which God has made. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. And let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. Let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life. And let us be especially grateful for the ties of love, which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all of our days.
Let us join together in our covenant, and I just want to recognize we have a lot of great costumes in the room, so this is going to be extra fun Sunday. So thank you for those who are wearing the costumes. Let's say our covenant found in your order of service together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Welcome to All Souls, where we
love beyond belief.
From all that dwell below the stars, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land, by every tongue.
Before you sit down, take a moment to greet someone. Tell them you're glad they're here and welcome them. Lovely. Oh, I love it. It feels, you just warm this whole place up. I could just feel the warmth of that greeting. I hope we'll continue that after the service in our fellowship hall with some refreshments. Today, I'm honored to welcome my beloved colleague, the Reverend Jacqueline Brett, who's our guest speaker this Sunday morning. Yes. Reverend Brett serves as the lead minister at the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Church in Durham, North Carolina. And she is the co-chair of the board of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. And her ministry centers on building beloved community and guiding transformation grounded in love, justice, and equity. As she nears the end of her 5-month sabbatical of rest and discernment, Reverend Brett has brought her leadership team here to All Souls so that they could see how we do things here and learn from us and also share with us some of the wonderful things they're doing in Durham. I'd like to introduce the rest of her team. We have the Reverend Jim Lewis, who's their religious educator. Reverend, please just rise so we can see you. Jim is going to tell our story, so we get to share in some of his ministry this morning. And also we have along with him, Michael Gilbert Singletary. Where's Michael? Michael is their membership person, and we're really glad to have Michael with us. And if you'll come forward to light our chalice, we have their executive pastor, Reverend Daniel Trollinger.
We light our chalice, a small spark in a large universe that's sometimes brutal and overwhelming, and still there is light. Outside us, within us, brightly shining from the darkness, a reminder that love lives within us and among us, and that love is greater than fear, greater than evil. May this small light encourage us to move forward in the ways of love.
Good morning, everyone. Oh my, I love that. I'm the Reverend Jim Lewis. As Reverend Marlon said, I am the Minister of Lifespan Faith Development and Pastoral Care. And this morning, a little time for all ages about a journey. Because those of you who will be in worship later will be going on a journey with Reverend Jacqueline through Sabbatical. And those of you going to religious exploration will be taking a little journey that may engage fear and conversation around fear. This story does both. So as we begin, the Dala Dala rumbled and roared, and Musa and Dada were off to the shore to feast. Space galore. If you move just a bit, we can make room for more. So in came the man with his sweaty old feet, and his bike with no bell, and no light, and no seat. And after some wiggles and giggles and fun, they made enough room for everyone. Interesting, they keep making the room. Next, they passed the Bagala boats, and a herder appeared with 2 little goats. So the Dala Dala pulled to the side, and the driver yelled, "Do you need a ride? It's hotter than peppers out there in the sun. Come in. There's room for everyone." But Dada asked Musa, "Can there really be enough room for a cycle, 2 goats and me?" "Of course there is. If we squeeze a bit, we'll make enough room for us all to fit." And though the seating arrangement was tight, Musa could see that Dada was right. After a shuffle, a squirm, and a squeeze, they found a small space beside Dada's knees. Onward they went with a honk and a toot, till vendors appeared with 3 baskets of fruit. So they pulled to the side, and as you can guess, Musa cried out and began to protest. See, Musa's got a little fear about it. Are all the people going to fit in the Dala Dala? "Mangoes and melons and patachichi, we don't have the space. Please listen to me." But up came the baskets of tropical fruits, and down dripped the juices on ankles and boots. Everyone wiggled and giggled galore, till somehow they carved out a space on the floor. Onward they puttered past palms and sails, till the farmer appeared with 4 shiny pails, filled with milk all the way to the top. So the Dala Dala came to a stop. "We can't, we mustn't. I do not see where he could possibly sit," Musa cried in despair. But the passengers wiggled, and somewhere, somehow, they made space for the farmer and milk from his cow. Whew, I'm glad they didn't try and fit the cow in. The Dalla drove past some farms till they saw 5 mamas with fish in their arms. So the Conda stuck his head outside, yelling, "Sisters, hello, do you need a ride?" "No," cried Musa, "this rickety bench has no room for those fish and their ickety stench." But the passengers wiggled and squished on the floor and made enough room for the ride to the shore. 6 minutes later, a farmer was walking with 6 stinky chickens that wouldn't stop squawking. And right there beside them were several fellas carrying 7 Katenge umbrellas. "Hop in," someone shouted. "Get out of the sun. There's plenty of room for everyone." This must have been a really fun Dalla. Musa resisted. "These chickens are fat, and 7 umbrellas, there's no room for that." Dada insisted, "Just open the door." So everyone giggled and wiggled galore and eventually found enough room for more. Soon, they were making a turn down the lane where a vendor was carrying 8 sugar canes and 9 tender coconuts fresh off the tree. What yummy, refreshing, sweet drinks these could be. The passenger shouted, "Do you need a ride?" And as you can guess, Musa worried and cried, "This is outrageous. We can't let them in. We're already smushed like sardines in a tin." Though it was clearly a very tight fit. They wouldn't give up. No, they just wouldn't quit. So in came the coconuts, tender and sweet, and the sugar canes tangled between people's feet, tickling everyone's toes as they wiggled until even Musa started to giggle. How the journey changes us. A few minutes later, they stopped for fuel, which happened to be near a diving school where 10 divers were ready to go with suits and gear and tanks in tow, trying to get in on all the commotion so they could explore the Indian Ocean. But was there enough room for all their stuff? Did the Dalla have room enough? You think so? And though the Dalla was packed from top to bottom and front to back, Musa yelled out, "Come join the fun. We'll make enough room for everyone." So the swimmers with snorkels and tubes and fins wiggled and giggled and wriggled right in. You see how full that Dalla looks? Their tires were reeling and spinning and burning, and passengers sweating and twisting and turning, elbow to shoulder, beak to nose, feathers to feet, and udders to toes. What a sight to see, what a comical crew, stuck together like globbity glue. Till he clunkety-clunked like junk in a trunk, so close to a breakdown, kerplunkety-plunk, when all of them suddenly heard a screech. Alhamdulillah, they'd arrived at the beach. Out came 10 swimmers with snorkels and fins who ran to the ocean and dove right on in. Out came 9 coconuts, fresh and tender. And out came the whistling coconut vendor. Out came the 8 sticky sweet sugar canes with 7 umbrellas for sunshine and rains, 6 stinky chickens and 5 piles of fish, 4 heavy pails full of milk so delish. 3 big old baskets of fruit for a treat, 2 little goats, and 1 bike with no seat. At last, they had finally reached the blue crystal waters of Nungwi Beach, where Musa and Dada and everyone could wiggle and giggle under the sun. May you wiggle and giggle on your journey today, and may we wiggle and giggle through those children and youth who are journeying behind Miss Shannon off to religious exploration.
As our children are making their way to their classrooms, I know we are going to recognize some of our new members. We've had 19 new members join in the last few months, and we would like, yes, it's wonderful. And I believe that I was told there will be 4, at least here, who we can welcome. So if you are one of those who have joined the congregation in the last few months, please come forward so that we can recognize you formally. I understand there will be 14 in the second service as well. So welcome. Welcome. All right, we got 3 or 4. Here we go. Beautiful. Welcome. Hey, Steve. I'll help you up. How about that? Great to see you. Here, you want to take my hand? There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. So today we formally welcome you into the covenant of love and service that is All Souls. So I ask you, new members, will you honor our covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another? If so, please say, I will. I will. Great.
Will you new members honor... Oh, well, now I was going to talk to the congregation.
Yes.
Yes. Congregants, I invite you to please rise. As our community grows, do you reaffirm your commitment to the covenant of love and service that binds us together? If so, please say, we do. We do. And will you welcome these new members into our community, strive to dwell with them in peace, support their search for truth with love, and help them when they are in need? If so, please say, I will. I will.
Let us all remember that this covenant that we say is a promise that we make to one another. It's a practice that we strive to live with one another in this way. And so I ask all of us, as we welcome these new members, to recommit ourselves to take responsibility, to seek forgiveness, and begin again in love if we break the covenant, so that we can rejoin the covenant together as one. If so, please say, I will. Wonderful, wonderful. And now, new members, congregation may be seated. Please state your name.
Casey Selby.
Casey Selby, I welcome you into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Please state your name.
Steve Fitzpatrick.
Steve Fitzpatrick, welcome to the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Please state your name.
Cheryl Cox-Vokes.
Cheryl Cox-Vokes, welcome into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Please state your name.
Chuck Vokes.
Chuck Vokes, welcome to the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
You are all such a blessing. You are all such a blessing to us. May love be your guide. Be blessed. And now you may join the congregation. Welcome. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody.
We're pleased to welcome John Burns as he sings the All Souls song. Now, you know you're going to come in with the chorus. You're welcome to sing all of it if you want. But with the chorus, I'm listening for your voices. Riley Kern, we're happy to have you.
We gather not as strangers, but kin by will and grace. We are builders, dreamers, keepers of this sacred open place. We are hands that lift the fallen. We are arms that open wide. We are mercy in the shadows. We are light that will not hide. When the road has left you weary, in the shelter here is peace. In this house of love unending, every burden finds its peace. We build this house on hope and flame.
Yeah.
With every heart we call by name. Through open doors, the world will see. Love makes us strong and sets us free.
We rise, everybody. We rise together, we rise. We rise
Together we rise.
we rise.
Together we rise.
One more time, yeah.
We rise. Together we rise.
We rise.
Together we rise. We rise. Hey. Together we rise.
John, don't sit down. Come on up here. John's not only a fabulous singer and soloist, but he's also a great leader of this congregation. And so we've asked him to come forward and just say a few words. As you know, we're in the midst of our pledge drive for 2026, asking people to make their commitments for next year so we can set a budget and have a great year next year. And John's going to say a few words about why he supports All Souls.
Thank you, Mom. Good morning, church.
Good morning.
My name is John Burns, and I've been a member of All Souls for 15 years. During that time, I've facilitated numerous classes. I've worked with our youth. I've served on the investment committee, worked with student ministers through our preaching practicum, sung in the choir, and I currently sit on the board of trustees. Now, I'm honored to be a member of this community. Our beloved Reverend Barbara Prose once told me, "This is indeed a day we have not made." And I wholeheartedly agree. What she meant was something beyond our individual power has created this day. This church was not built by us alone. There's something greater that connects us all and has formed this church. Simply put, that something is our great covenant. It transcends our individual selves. I believe it is a higher power. Over the years, this covenant has manifested to me as unwavering support and gentle care in the form of our leadership, the various groups I've been a part of, and especially the music program. This church has stood by me during a difficult divorce and was there for me when I found and married my beautiful wife. My children have grown up here, and quite honestly, so have I over the past 15 years. Today, I'm here to explain why I give each year. It's very simple. My pledge isn't just a financial commitment. It's a pledge to be in this covenant with all of you. I make this pledge because I believe the space we create and support together is crucial for our covenant, this higher power to be lived and experienced. I hope you'll join my family in pledging this year. We will also be increasing our pledge by 10%, and I invite you all to do the same so that this community can continue to thrive and live out the meaning of our great covenant together. Now, today's the final day to pick up your pledge letter in Emerson Hall. Those that aren't picked up today will be sent in the mail. Please be sure to make your commitment by November 9th. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. I want to light a candle this morning for all of our new members who have joined our congregation, expanding the family of All Souls, making us better, making us more stronger and more interesting and more loving. I want to light a special candle for our guests who are with us from the Eno River UU Fellowship. It's wonderful to have you blessing our service and all of our time together. I have a candle to light. Heartfelt condolences to our youth director, Corey Smith, and his wife, Missy, the loss of Missy's mother, Janie Rice, who passed away just on Friday. And so our hearts go out to them. We light a candle for the family of longtime member and everywhere member, Judy Wilder, who passed away on October 6th. And we light a candle today for all of those in our community recovering from illness, those who are in hospice, those who are ailing or ill in any way. May they feel the warmth of our presence in their lives. I want to light a candle of welcome home to Jane Newman, who I saw is here. Jane, a leader of our church for so many decades, and she brought along with her from Minnesota her beloved partner, Barbara. It's great to have you both with us. There you are. Welcome home. Welcome. It's great to have you here this Sunday morning. And a candle as well for David Olson, our member who passed away in August, and we're going to be holding a celebration of life for him this Thursday at 1 p.m., and the family would love to have anyone here with them. One final candle for all those unspoken joys and concerns which reside in our hearts this morning. If you have someone who you'd like to bring into our service, please call out their name and I'll light a candle for them as well. Beautiful. I got all our candles lit this morning. If this Sunday is the closest to the anniversary of the death of a loved one in your life, or you're in the first year after the death of a loved one, we invite you to stand in memory and mourning to honor that loss. You may be seated. Let us pray. Holy and eternal light of love, known by many names, great Spirit beyond all of our naming, we are joining our hearts together in this moment, feeling the presence of something larger than ourselves, be it our covenant, be it the Spirit of life and all creation. Help us to feel the healing spirit of being in community. Help us to feel the sense of community beyond our walls, beyond our city, beyond our state, all the way to Durham, North Carolina, and all across the country and around the world, with people suffering in wars and people who are struggling to find a home as refugees and people all over the world. I hope that something we do here and the light and the warmth that we have with us in this moment will transcend out beyond this place to bless our world. These and the many prayers of our hearts we lift up today. Amen.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Sing it with me now. When I breathe in, I breathe in. When I breathe out, I breathe out. When I breathe in, when I breathe in, oh, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out loud. Your voices. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out.
Somebody's praying, I can feel it. Somebody's praying over me. Mighty hands are guiding me to protect me from what I can't see. Oh, I believe. Oh, I believe. Somebody's praying over me. Spirit is watching. I can feel it. Spirit is watching over me. Spirit is watching over me. We're miles ahead till I get home, till I'm safely kept before the throne. Oh, I believe. Oh, I believe that Spirit is watching over me. Well, I've walked the barren wilderness where my pillow was a stone, and I've been through the darkest caverns where no light has ever shone. Still I went on, 'cause there was someone who was down on their knees. And I thank all the people praying all this time for me. Somebody's praying, I can feel it. Somebody's praying for me. Mighty hands are guiding me to protect me from what I can't see. Oh, I believe. Oh, I believe. Somebody's praying for me. Somebody's praying. I can feel it. Somebody's praying for me. Mighty hands are guiding me to protect me from what I can't see. Oh, I believe. Oh, yes, I believe. Yes, I believe. Somebody's praying. Somebody's praying. Somebody's praying for me. Yes, God. Somebody's praying for me. Somebody's praying. Somebody's praying. Somebody.
Good morning, and wow. You know, it's something to be a minister from another congregation, and I am at church this morning. Thank you so much. Amen. And so, on behalf of myself, Reverends Daniel Trollinger and Jim Lewis, and Michael Gilbert Singletary, the Director of Membership Development at the Eno River UU Fellowship, I extend a deeply heartfelt gratitude and appreciation from each of us to Reverends Marlon, Randy, and Nicole, to the full staff here, to the board, and to many others among you for the kindness of your hospitality this week and the generous gifts of your time, your information, your wisdom, and fellowship that you have shared with us, some of which I'll say more about in a few moments. So I began working at the Eno River UU Fellowship 13 years ago. I was not yet a minister then, and I was still learning what this thing called Unitarian Universalism was in actual practice. So one day I noticed, pinned on the staff break room bulletin board, a front page New York Times article about the new phenomenon of UU congregations remaining open year-round. The piece explained that it had been a common practice for UU congregations to lock their doors in summer as ministers and the congregation dispersed for vacation. This astonished me. Never in my born days had I heard of a church closing down because people were on summer vacation. What sort of places were these UU congregations, I wondered. And that the story itself was not only on the front page of the New York Times, but above the fold. And this itself was instructive in how important this was considered. It obviously marked a shift in religious life for these UU congregations. Continuity rather than seasonal absence, presence rather than pause. Now, I don't know how many of you are younger folk in here, and maybe your news has rarely, if ever, come from a printed paper, but above the fold refers to the important stories that appear in the upper half of a newspaper when it's folded horizontally. So at Eno River, we never practiced summer shutdown. But later, as a minister myself, I learned why extended breaks are nonetheless vital. By late spring, many ministers, especially those of us who serve large congregations like this one and like Eno River, are often crispy from our sustained labors throughout the year. So what has been wonderfully unique about this year for me is that my summer break extended into an additional 3-month period of sabbatical, which has meant that I've been away from July 1st and will return on December 1st. The UU Ministers Association recommends a sabbatical roughly every 4 years for ministers because the shelf life for the average minister can be as little as 5 years, most often due to burnout. I love quoting the author Alex Sujong Kim Pang, who writes in his classic book, Rest, that the word workaholic came about as a result of a study conducted by Duke University of Methodist ministers. Sabbatical and Sabbath share a root with the Hebrew word Shabbat, meaning to cease, to desist, to rest. In the Hebrew scriptures, Genesis tells us that God finished the work and rested on the seventh day. Exodus repeats that God rested and was refreshed, though author Jane Bernard points out that the Hebrew word, often translated refreshed, literally reads as, and God exhaled. Imagine creation itself breathing in and breathing out, inhalation and exhalation, and the cadence of making and letting be. We cannot inhale, we cannot breathe in if we don't also exhale or breathe out. We cannot fully create unless we rest. In ancient agricultural contexts, a sabbatical rhythm extended to the land itself, the Shemitah, a fallow year every seventh year when the field rested and debts might be forgiven. These practices taught a society that had recently been emancipated from slavery that life could and must allow for pauses, for rest. They recognized that endless productivity without reprieve produces neither justice nor wholeness. In 1988, the feminist and writer Audre Lorde, who was confronting a second diagnosis of cancer, wrote words that continue to reverberate among us today. She said, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." Her line is often quoted these days, and sometimes actually flattened into a trendy slogan because it actually holds a resonance that seems to make sense, though I do not believe that most people truly know what Lorde was referring to, unless one also knew that she was a Black lesbian who had received a diagnosis that would mean her swift demise, unless one knew that she referred not to an excess in pampering herself, though that would have been just fine and probably greatly needed, but she was referring to the very preservation of the identities that existed at the intersection of her being in the world, and that itself was a political act, preserving herself, preserving her identities. And 20 years before Lorde, the Trappist monk Thomas Merton wrote to a young colleague to allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, is to succumb to violence. Different contexts, different identities, and both these ancestors, these wisdom teachers, express the same insistence that care and rest are moral and spiritual imperatives. And still, our modern marketplace has commodified self-care and rest into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Beauty and grooming products, retreats, spa treatments, classes, and even apps offering quick fixes. This is not what Lorde or Merton proposed, nor what the communities most greatly in need of radical self-care and sustainable nurturing can even access or afford. Though the deeper need beneath those marketed comforts is actually quite profound. It points to the simple capacity and desire that we all have to pause, to exhale, to rest. When I prepared for my sabbatical earlier this year, my initial image of rest leaned into fantasy. Lots of sleep, I imagined, or perhaps even sunning on a beach or poolside while taking lots and lots of naps. Then I spoke to some wise elder colleagues who asked variations of a question I hadn't considered. What is your vision for your sabbatical, they asked. What do you hope to accomplish? These questions surprised me. They felt like more things to do rather than rest. But I came to realize that rest without intentionality can become avoidance or a missed opportunity for renewal. So I reflected, what did I want for this time to be in alignment with my values, my beliefs, and my essential self? What would make this pause a true sabbatical, a time of rest and discernment for clarity and understanding about those matters most deeply upon my heart? And so this began to feel more like a journey, one during which it was important to arrive at an understanding of how the work of ministry might be sustainable. A Sabbath rest that reestablishes rhythms of care, accountability, and renewal, not solely for myself, but for the congregation as well. The writer Joseph Campbell's model of the monomyth, the hero's journey, came to mind. Departure, initiation, and return, defined as a call to leave, trials that transform, and a homecoming bearing of an elixir for the community. Campbell's lens has provided a framework for understanding how humans tell stories across cultures, from legends and myths to movies. Star Wars is a monomyth. Harry Potter is a monomyth. And so we see that in our culture even today. In fact, George Lucas consulted with Joseph Campbell when he was creating the monomyth of Star Wars. And as you might have heard if you were listening carefully, Campbell's archetype centers separation, quest, and a masculine arc of achievement. So when I considered my own sabbatical, I reframed it as a she-rose journey. A path that values relational repair, interior transformation, negotiated power, and the reweaving of community ties. Where the hero might slay an external foe, the she-ro tends wounds, restores balance, and returns with gifts for communal life. And if we were to also consider the experiences of Black, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Asian, and other people of color, we find heroes and sheroes who approach their journeys with still other perspectives. Those that often prioritize reciprocal relations with people, with the land, and ancestors, rather than the linear, heroic process. The centering of collective memory, group survival, relational obligations, power and place, and storytelling as resistance. Once again, shifting emphasis from individual triumph to communal continuity, repair, and responsibility. Departure for the sabbatical journey was necessary for me, not for escapism, but in order to learn how to return better, how to enter into new rhythms of care, accountability, and renewal. I left amid a country in turmoil and a congregation that nonetheless needed steady tending even in my absence. I had to say no to additional appeals for action in the larger community of Durham, and that was hard. Old habits followed me as I began the journey. I found myself working to do one more thing while on vacation with my sisters, and even while on a transformative meditation retreat. I slipped up to my hotel room and worked between sessions, convinced I needed to tie up loose ends for work. Such resistance, I'd learned, was a classic aspect of a hero's journey, that of not letting go, the clinging to control, the clinging to busyness. Ironically, the thing that finally forced me into the intended rest was actually illness. I contracted COVID and was flat on my back. This was not the COVID of, you take the test, it's positive, but I have no symptoms. I had every single symptom. I was physically unable to do anything but breathe and sleep. I got the sabbatical I had planned in theory, but had not yet put in practice. So I surrendered and exhaled, entering into the phase of the journey known as initiation. I spent the next several weeks becoming intentional about engaging with the people and the things I loved and being fully present while doing them, which was not the case previously. I took long walks in nature, reconnecting with the earth and the sky above in surprising ways. I met and appreciated new people who showed up in my life. I had conversations with elders from different communities and also accepted for the first time my role as the elder in the lives of others, and that my resistance to this role was not helpful to them or to me. I also faced an internalized assumption I had carried for years, that the proof of my worth equaled my busyness and the demonstration that I was a hard worker. It had felt good to let go and to instead cultivate a spaciousness and a stillness that has enabled me to face the grief and heartbreak I've been feeling at the state of our country and the world. And that it has been important to face and feel my broken heart. Because facing brokenness is not optional when you are about the work of renewal. Metta practice, the loving kindness meditation, has long been a lodestar for me as a practicing Buddhist. In metta, we offer simple intentions. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be awake and free. Saying these over and over for myself and all beings without exception. Without exception. It has steadied me. It is not sentimental, nor is it a spiritual bypass. When I've felt anger or despair, it's been this practice that has returned me to a ground of compassionate agency. It has kept me tethered to the work and the values I am committed to, especially when it is most difficult to hold to those commitments. So now, on this, the third phase of the sabbatical journey, which is the return, I'm quite conscious that I'll be back in my own pulpit 6 Sundays from now. I'm happy. I love my work. I feel it is a great privilege to get up every morning, every single morning, knowing that I do the work of my heart. So at this stage of my Shiro's journey, there are those who facilitate and help enable the return. And that's where you all here at All Souls have come in. Being here in your community, sitting with your ministers and your staff and receiving some of Reverend Marlin's wisdom one-on-one has lifted my spirits, renewed my vision, and inspired my heart. And I thank you, all of you. The elixir I shall be returning with is not a miraculous cure. It is instead a way of being. Attention, presence, vulnerability, joy, frequent moments of pause and faithful practice are the medicine that allow me to return refreshed, not less broken, but better prepared to carry the burdens and the joys of ministry. The elixir is not a magic wand. It will not instantly erase grief or dismantle some systemic injustice. Rather, these practices fuel the perseverance needed for sustained engagement. When we are steadied in our inner life, we are better able to do the outer work of organizing, loving, and resisting oppression. As I prepare to depart, I offer you 3 small practices from my sabbatical time, and the invitation to you is to do them daily for a month. Just try it out as a support in cultivating the ways of being that I've been naming. First is the 5-minute morning attention. Sit and breathe for 5 minutes. Name 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, and 1 thing you feel. And offer 1 small intention for the day. This to train your attention toward presence rather than reaction. Second is 1 honest check-in. Each day, send 1 brief, truthful line to someone. I'm okay, but I could use a chat. Or thinking of you today. This cultivates vulnerability and mutual care. And third, 1 concrete act of care. Do 1 specific and measurable thing to tend a relationship or place. Call a neighbor, water a plant, write a thank you note. Small acts, repeated, can reshape things all around us, even though we might consider, this is nothing. Actually, it really is offering something. And so try these without perfectionism. If you miss a day, begin again without judgment. The aim is incremental acts, the sort that accumulate into steadiness. And thus, I bring no grand elixir in a vial. I bring instead a set of deeper convictions that rest is not indulgence, but preservation. That vulnerability creates kinship, and that steady, small practices produce strong and durable transformation. These are not substitutes for our collective action, but they're the kayaks that keep us afloat while we row toward justice together. So may we hold one another's hearts with courage. May we practice exhaling as faithfully as we inhale. May our congregations be places where people arrive broken and are met with listening ears and steady hands, where Sabbaths and sabbaticals are honored as communal necessities, and where return bears gifts, sometimes small, sometimes hidden, that sustain our common life. Ashe, salam, shalom, and blessed be. And may the people say, Amen.
There's a river flowing in my soul. The words should be on the screen. Would you rise as you're able? We're going to sing just 2 verses. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. Let's sing it together. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. Thank you. You may be seated.
As we do that, let's take a deep breath in and exhale together. That was beautiful. At All Souls, we know that voting is one of the most powerful ways that we can shape our communities and ensure voices are heard. So this week's offering goes to the League of Women Voters of Metropolitan Tulsa. It's a nonpartisan organization that encourages informed, active participation in government and works to increase understanding of major public policy issues. This is all a part of what we do here at All Souls, because every week we give our plate away to an organization that's doing good works in the world as a demonstration, as a living out our values of love and justice. So please give generously when the offering plate comes around. Rainy day equals no pickleball today. Did you know that every Sunday is Joining Sunday at All Souls? So if you are eager, if you are ready to become a member, or if you want more information about membership, please meet us at 11:15 today at room 203. Of course, don't forget to pick up your pledge cards in the foyer area today. We'd be so grateful. And some of you I see are more ready than others. Our Halloween festival is happening. It's going to be down in the lower level near the President's Room following the second service, and you are invited to stick around, check out the fun costumes, enjoy some of the treats and the spooky good fun. For information on these events and all the upcoming events here, check out our website, check the back of your order of service. And now we gratefully receive our offering for the League of Women Voters for Tulsa metropolitan area.
beautiful morning, welcoming new members and just having guests here. And what a beautiful message. Thank you. It's been so great having you and your team with us. We're going to miss you when you're gone. I hope you take with you the spirit of this place and the love of all these people who you have blessed. Before Reverend Brett comes forward to lead our benediction, I just want to say once again, if you have children, they'll be waiting for you on this floor, on the first floor, but all the way down the end of the hall in rooms 128 and 129, because they're setting up the haunted house and all kinds of fun games for the Halloween party. I do want to say, my brother in the hot dog suit, I so wish you were a new member so that we could have blessed you. I would have just loved that. So, but if you're wondering if hot dogs have souls, this one definitely does. All right, Reverend Brett, please, will you bless us before we go?
I wondered about you as well when I was in the spirit of sabbatical. You pursue with intention the essential rest and discernment that you're in need of as an act of compassion for yourself and for those you care about. Go in peace, go in love, go with courage, and go knowing that you are not alone. Amen.